Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Blake Beliles. I'm a local attorney here in Warren County, and I am running for Warren County District Judge Division 1. That being said, I'm on today on Facebook wanting to talk to you guys about expungements. I'm going to take some time here in the near future to talk about some things that go on in district court, and wanted to start off with expungements. So first off, what is an expungement? An expungement is a process that you can do through the court system that completely gets rid of a record. So if you were charged with an offense and you get that charge expunged, it will not be visible for anyone to see anymore. That would be the charge itself wouldn't be able to be seen, and neither would how the charge got resolved. Some charges end up being dismissed, and the charge will show that it's dismissed, but you would still be able to see the charge itself. All expungements you can find legally in statutes in KRS Chapter 431. Chapter 431 explains what expungements are and how you can do those. And just kind of to hit some highlights, I'm not going to get into all the details of it. But the main statutes that you would need to know is KRS 431.078 talks about expungements of misdemeanors. So in order for you to be able to get a misdemeanor expunged, you have to wait 5 years after you've pled guilty to the offense, or 5 years after the probation period is up from the offense, whichever is longer. So if you were to have pled guilty to an offense and there was no jail time or probation time, you could expunge that offense in 5 years. If you were to be charged with an offense, say like alcohol intoxication, and the judge told you, look, I'm going to give you 30 days in jail, but I'm going to probate or conditionally discharge those 30 days for 2 years. Well, what that means is the probation or conditional discharge is 2 years. So you could not expunge that charge for 5 years after the probation period was up, which is 2 years, which would make the expungement period a 7-year period. So after that charge, after the 7 years had passed, you could get that charge expunged. In order to expunge a charge, you have to get, if it was a guilty plea or a guilty conviction, you have to get an expungement certificate, in which you can just get on and Google expungement certificate. It will lead you to the Kentucky Courts of Justice website, in which you can request that certificate. It's, I think, $42.50 as we speak now, and there's a $100 filing fee for that expungement. Now, if you did have a charge that was dismissed, say that certain times in district court, you'll be given what's called a pretrial diversion. And what that is where a judge will set aside your case. It's not a guilty plea in district court. They'll set that aside, and after an amount of time, it could be a 1 year diversion, it could be a 6-month diversion, it could be a 2-year diversion. But after that period is up, your charge will be dismissed. So at the end of that period, the charge will show dismissed. It will show that you weren't convicted of it and it is dismissed, but it would still show up on your record where someone could see it for a job interview or something like that. If you wanted to go ahead and get that expunged, you could. The dismissal, you do not need an expungement certificate. You do not have to pay a filing fee. You just have to fill out the appropriate paperwork, and you can get that expunged. And that paperwork you can find in AOC forms. You can find the petition for expungement for a conviction, a misdemeanor conviction, and you can find the application to vacate or expunge an acquittal or dismissal for a misdemeanor. And you can just Google those terms. The AOC forms for a petition for expungement for a misdemeanor is actually 496.2 for that petition in an AOC form, and then there's an AOC form 497.2 for dismissals. And you can fill out that paperwork, and you can do that yourself. Now, you can also get certain felony offenses expunged in Kentucky. Now, that is something that does not happen at the district court level. That is something, felonies are prosecuted in circuit court, which I would not be the judge of, but just to hit on it a little bit, since I am talking about expungements, you can expunge one felony conviction in Kentucky if it was a Class D felony and was not a DUI fourth, was not a sex offense, or an offense against the child or a violent offense. So you can get some of those expunged. There's a $300 filing fee for felony expungements, and you would also need to get that expungement certificate, and the AOC form for that is 496.3, which you can do. Anytime you're worried about or thinking about getting an expungement, I would recommend you contacting an attorney. They can get into much more detail than I have today. I just kind of wanted to hit on the highlights. And normally for a nominal fee, they will cover court for you and try to handle that for you. But today I just wanted to let you know, kind of the gist about expungements. And I hope everyone's doing well. Again, my name is Blake Beliles. I'm running for district judge here in Warren County, and the election's on November 8th. I would appreciate your vote and support. Thanks so much for paying attention to this video.